All right, this is the review for Chapter 3. I apologize because there's probably going to be a couple of bells because this is a conference period. All right, so we work our coefficients like normal. So -4 times -5 is 20. And then when we multiply, we add our exponents. All right, we have multiplication again. So I have 2. A to the 0 power is just 1. B to the -4 flips it to the bottom, a negative exponent. And then C stays on top. So combine some of this. 2 times 1 is 2. C, B to the 4th. Number 3, I'm going to divide my coefficients like normal. That's going to be 5 or 5 over 1. I'm not going to put the 1. You can put it if you want, if it makes you feel comfortable. I'm going to do my flipping first. So A to the -5th is A to the 5th. B to the 6th stays on top. C to the 0 is just 1, so I don't have to put it. A to the 6th will still be on bottom, and B squared will still be on bottom. Remember, there's multiple steps you can take to get here. So if you saw it a little bit differently, that's okay. You should get the same result. So 5, there's no other coefficients, so no other work I need to do with that 5. I have 2 b's, b to the 6th, b squared on bottom. That is division, so I subtract. And my 6 is on top, so it stays on top. That takes care of both my b's and my 5. My 2 a's, 5 plus 6 is 11. Look at number 4. I have parentheses, but if you notice, none of these have an exponent on the outside. So I'm going to work my coefficients first. 4 times 3 times -2 is -24. Then I'm going to work my a's. So I have a to the 1, a to the 3 third, cubed, and a squared. So I add those with multiplication. 3, 4, 5, 6. So a to the 6th. And then my b's. And I like to mark them out as I use them, just so I don't forget them. And then I have b squared, b to the 4th. It is multiplication, so I add them. So when I multiply with exponents, I add them. When I divide with exponents, I subtract them. Alright, let's start with my coefficients. Alright, I'm going to simplify that. So I can divide both of those by 3. I'll show that up here. Both can be divided by 3 to become -5/6. So -5 on top, 6 on bottom. Then I'm going to do my a's. A to the 4th minus a squared is going to be a squared on top because a to the 4th is bigger. Then I'm going to have my b's. The 6 is on bottom and it's bigger than my 3, so it goes on bottom. 6 minus 3 is 3. I am going pretty quickly through this, so I encourage you, if you have questions, to come ask before the test. That's just to kind of prevent a 45-minute video when it doesn't need to be. Alright, I'm going to simplify 10/6. They both can be divided by 2. So it's going to be 5/3. So that starts my fraction, 5/3. I've got a negative exponent, so I'm going to do my flipping first. I like to take care of flipping. I don't like dealing with negatives, and most of y'all don't either, which is why I do it that way. So I have a to the 3rd on top, b to the 6th on top. But C, the -4th, is going to flip down. Taking care of those. A to the -2 is going to be moved to the top because it's negative. B to the 3rd stays on the bottom. C to the 4th stays on the bottom. Alright, so now I keep my 5/3. And I know some of you combine these steps, and that's fine if you're comfortable doing that. So a to the 3rd, a squared, that's multiplication, so a to the 5th. My b, I have a b on bottom, so my 6 is bigger, so it's going to stay on top. 6 minus 3 is 3. And then my c's, sorry, and there'll be another bell in about 3 minutes. And so there's c, 4, and 4 is going to be 8. All right, let's look at number 7. So I'm going to work my top first and then my bottom. You could work it, like I said, there's so many ways to work this, and we've looked at a variety of ways in class, so you can pick which way you like. So I'm going to do 6 times 4 is 24. My a's, a squared, a to the 6th is going to become a to the 8th over 3a to the 7th. So taking care of combining my top as much as possible. So now 24 over 3, I'm going to simplify. It's actually going to simplify to 8. It'd be 8 over 1 if I want to be technical. And then a to the 8th, a to the 7th. A to 8 is bigger, so it's going to stay on top. And 8 minus 7 is 1. So you can put the 1 there if you want, or you can just leave it like an A. And there we go. 8. So that whole problem will just simplify to 8a. Alright, so let's look at number 8. So we talked about this a little bit in class because I didn't let y'all use calculators for this. When I have a half exponent, I'm at first going to distribute that. When I have an exponent side parentheses, we have to distribute just like we distributed numbers. So I have 4 to the 1/2. 1/2 times 2 is going to just be 1, so I'm going to leave it as A. And then B half plus 7. So we talked about when you have 4 to 1/2, that is the same as taking the square root. So it'll be 2ab to the 7th. Look at number 9. So I'm going to distribute that to 3, so it's going to be 3 to the 3rd. 2 times 3 is 6. Then I have 4 to the 0. And 2 times 0 is 0. So 3 to the 3rd is 27. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. A to the 6th will stay as a to the 6th. 4 to the 0 is 1, and b to the 0 is 1, so I don't have to put those. So I'm done. All right, let's look at number 10. Number 10 gets a little messy. I don't really like dealing with those fractions, but there's no exponent on the outside, so nothing to distribute. So I'm just going to do some combining. Remember, sorry about the bells. All right, so we have 3 times 7, because I worked my coefficients just like they're normal. That's just 3 times 7. 21. For my exponents, though, I'm going to add to this multiplication. So 1/3 plus 4/3, keep the numerator, add the numerator, keep the denominator. So 5/3, we're going to keep it as 5/3. So I'm done with my 2 A's. B, I have 1/4 plus 3/2. So I need to have a common denominator. So I'm going to keep my 4. I'm going to change this to 4. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 2 is 6. Which is 7/4. So B to the 7/4. No more combining I can do, so I am done. Look at number 11. I have an exponent on the outside, so I'm going to distribute. So it's going to be 6 squared. A 1/4 times 2. To multiply fractions, you know you got them. Top times top, bottom times bottom. 2/4 simplifies to 1/2. We have another A. 1/2 times 4 is just half of 4, so 2. Not done with this one because I still have 6 squared, which can simplify to 36. And I have 2 A's. Now they're in multiplication, so I'm going to add them together. 2 plus 1/2. Now some of you have just been putting 2.5. But I'm going to make it an improper fraction because that's a little bit more, we usually have it as improper, which would be 5/2. Those you don't remember that, I believe when Ms. Hoffpower taught, improper fractions. She used a cloud or popcorn or something like that. It's something you learned in 5th and 6th grade math. So 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1. When I taught 6th grade math a long time ago, I did TX, Texas, multiply, then add. And keep the 2. All right, let's look at number 12. All right, I have no negatives, so I'm not going to flip anything. Nothing to flip. I don't have any parentheses, so I don't have to distribute. So I'm just going to divide. So I have A squared and A 4/3. A squared is bigger, so it's going to go on top, our A. And I'm going to do 2 minus 4/3. All right, I need this to be a fraction, so I'm going to stick it over 1. We need common denominators. So this stays 4 times 3 times 3, so 6/3 minus 4/3 is 2/3. So we have A to the 2/3. It's hard to write small as an exponent, but if you can, that's great. And then B to the 4th, B over 3/2. B to the 4 is bigger than 3/2. So I'm going to do 4 over 1 minus 3/2. Again, I want a common denominator. I'm going to keep my halves. This is going to become 2 times 2 times 2, 8. So 8 minus 3 is 5 over 2. And we're done. Because there's nothing on bottom. All right. Let's look at some word problems. Find each of the following. If the area of a rectangle, so area, is 12 a to the 7th b to the 4th, and the width is 4a squared b squared, what is the length? So if I'm given area, then I'm going to divide, because a equals length times width. So to get that length by itself, I would divide both sides by the width. So I'm going to do 12 a to the 7th b to the 4th over 4a squared. All right, so let's work that out. 12 over 4 simplifies to 3, or 3 over 1. Don't know if I have any other numbers on bottom. I could put the 1 if you like it. A to the 7th, a squared. A, 7 is bigger, so it goes on top. 7 minus 2 is 5. B to the 4th power is bigger, so it goes on top. 4 minus 2 is 2. And since it's only 1 on bottom, I don't need it. Look at number 14. The height, so we have height, 6a squared b to the 5th, and the base is 4a to the 3rd power, b to the 4th power. Find the area. Area is base times height. So I'm going to multiply those two together. So I'm going to do 6a squared b to the 5th times 4a to the 3rd b to the 4th. So work my coefficients like normal. So 6 times 4 is 24. My a's I'm multiplying, so I add. 2 plus 3 is 5. My b's I'm multiplying, so I'm going to add. 5 plus 4 is 9. Find the area of a square. So we have a square whose side length is a to the 5th b squared. So we now remember for a square, all 4 sides are equal. So this side is also a to the 5th b squared. So I'm going to do my length times width. I just have to do, I could do a to the 5th b squared times b. Sorry. Alright, so I could do a to the 5th b squared times a to the 5th times b squared. Or, I'm going to show you, we can do it as a to the 5th b squared squared. Is this not the same as multiplying those two things together? So a to the 5th squared is going to be a to the 10th. 2 times 2 is 4. If I'd done it the other way, it would have looked like this. 5 plus 5 is 10. 2 plus 2 is 4. Either way works. Let's look at number 16. A rectangular prism has a length, so we have a length of a squared b, a width of ab to the 4th power, and a height of a third b fifth. Which expression represents the volume? Length times width times height. So I'm going to do a squared b times ab to the 4th times a cubed b to the 5th. So I'm going to combine my a's. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So a to the 6th. B 1 plus 4 is 5 plus 5 is 10. Which of the following expression is written in simplest form? Alright, so let's look at this one. Oh, well, this one has 3 to the 5th, so that's not simplified, so that's not it. This, they didn't distribute yet, so that's not simplified. This has a to the 0, so it's not simplified yet. And this one has a z, an x, a y, z, nothing can be combined, so D is the one that is in simplest form. Now it does say explain. So I'm going to explain each of these. This one, 3 to the 5th, can be 9 times 9, 81. 81 times 3. Be nice if I had grabbed a calculator. This can be 243. This one didn't distribute. And then we have this one. A to the 0 equals 1. Right? Alright, let's move on to problems that are square roots. Alright, so I'm going to break this down. This is one of those things that your calculator can't do for you. It can, but it's blocked for STAR Test, so it's blocked for our class also. Alright, so I broke down to my prime factorization. Remember my partners, one of them gets to go outside, so my outside is going to be a 5, and my lonely ones have to stay inside. Okay, so let's look at this one. I already have an outside one, so I'm going to make a note of that, because a lot of us forget that. So I'm going to break down 96. Let's do 3. You can choose any one you want to. 3 times 32. You could have done 2. You could have done 4 can go into that one easily. 6 can go into it. So remember, you can break it down any way you want. Break this down into 8 and 4. So it's going to be 2 and 2. That gives me 2 primes. It's going to be 4 and 2. 2 and 2. A lot of times when I have a lot of them like that, I like to write them out. That's what, so I have a 3, 2 times 2. And I have 3 more 2's. 1, 2, 3. So outside I have a 2. I have another 2. So outside I have 2 times 2 times 2. So that's 8. Inside I have left over 3 times 2, 6. Alright. Let's look at number 20. This is review from early in the 6 weeks. Last 6 weeks, a review from 8th grade. We've talked about that it spirals in this class. Things that we learn constantly show up throughout the year. So those still struggling, let's look at it. Alright, I want to solve for x. I'm going to subtract both sides by 6. Negative 4x is left. 24. Sorry, my mind went blank there for a second. Divide both sides by negative 4. Simplification, so that undoes it. And negative 24 divided by 4 is positive 6. Alright, let's look at 21. Just like with my exponents, when I have a number right next to my parentheses, I have to distribute. So negative 16w, bring down my subtraction. Negative 8 times 1 is negative 8. Immediately I have subtract a negative, so I'm going to add a line, change the sign. Subtract 8 from both sides. Divide both sides by 16. I'm going to use my calculator on my phone. Alright, it is a positive divided by a negative, so it's going to be a negative 1.75. Alright, let's look at number 22. Nothing to distribute, but I have an x on both sides, so I'm going to move the smaller x. That leaves me at 3 plus x, and this is 9. If you want to put a 1 in front of that x, you can, but it's not needed. Subtract 3 from both sides, and x equals 6. 23, draw a line. And of course, you should be watching this video to check it. So hopefully we are checking our answers, not just working them out with me. So let's see, I have b. I have a minus 5 in front of parentheses, so I'm going to add a line, change the sign. So b plus negative 5 times b is negative 5b. Bring down my subtraction. Negative 5 times 1 is negative 5. So I'm going to add a line, change the sign. b plus a negative 5b is a negative 4b. Plus 5. Subtract 5 from both sides. Negative 4b is 12. Divide by negative. I should have bells, whistles, alarms blaring because I just divided by a negative. When I divide by a negative, I flip the sign. And we get negative 3. Alright, 24. Twice a number, so twice a number plus 3 is the same as, so it's equal to, half of a number, so half of means multiplication, plus 12. Alright, so 2n plus 3 is what I'm looking for. And then half of n plus 12. You could have also done half of n as n divided by 2, just in case that showed up. It showed up a little bit differently, but it didn't in this case. All right, let's look at 25. Colin has $23 to spend at Games and More. He plans to buy a medium drink, so $23 is our total. He plans to buy a medium drink, then play laser tags as many times as he can with the leftover money. Medium drink is $3. Plus, he's going to, each game is $4, so $4 per game. Which inequality can be used to find how many games of laser tag he can play? Is it okay if he spends all of his money? Yes, it's okay if it's equal to. But this is my spending, and this is how much he has. He needs to spend less than what he has. So, I'm going to be looking for 3 plus 4g. 3 plus 4g, 3 plus 4g. And then I'm looking for my less than equal to sign. So C is correct. Alright. If you want the extra practice of solving those two, you may. If you have questions, please come ask. Review our notes if you need to. If you have any questions, come ask me before class over the next couple days. Alright, thank you.